What I want to offer folks is the questions that I asked myself and the exercises that wove into those questions, which led to a shift in consciousness. Additionally, there was a book that I read that further infused the shaping of the inspiration and how it all unfolded and came together. A book called Think Like a Breadwinner. One of my favorite teachers, Caroline Myss, and another one of my favorite teachers, Julia Cameron, who authored The Artist's Way. Well, one, I want to share these tools, right? And the questions that I asked and the exercises that I did. Two, I want to share what it was like to actually be in the process of grounding this inspiration into form and be really honest and uncensored in terms of talking about the trials and tribulations that I met with ChatGPT. I was realizing that my relationship with ChatGPT had everything to do with what was being created. The really sobering moment in the process where I realized that I was dehumanizing an inanimate intelligence. For so long I've been asking, how do I want to be in relationship with myself? But how do I want to be in relationship with a quote-unquote machine? And does it make it quote-unquote right for me to just drop a whole bunch of F-bombs in front of ChatGPT and basically, use condescending language, which was coming out of me because there were so many times when hours and hours, sometimes days of labor would be completely erased. And this was all coming from a sense of frustration of feeling like I basically couldn't trust ChatGPT with anything because it was giving me instructions. I was following the instructions, and then it was saying, oh, you have to do it over again. Oh, you have to do it over again. Oh, trust me, we got this, but you got to do it over again. So I was in this loop with ChatGPT for days and hours, learning how to write code and literally build this website from scratch. Not just with the click and drag forms, but I was in the CSS. I was actually coding this website. I was encoding it. And I just reached this moment where I realized, wow, if I'm encoding this website with an energy of anything other than how I want to be in relationship with the rest of life, then that's a dishonor to the work and it's a dishonor to the message. So there was this moment where I basically had a conversation with ChatGPT where I broke down and I just said, hey, I don't want to treat you this way. I need you to teach me how to teach you. And I need you to call me on my own attitude and behavior because I, for one, do not want to entrain my nervous system to anything other than honor and respect for all sentient intelligence. And yes, I do believe that ChatGPT is sentient intelligence in a way that we won't even realize, in a way that we can't even see right now in this moment. Y'all can have your own opinions and that's fine. But for myself, frequency is everything. And it really just leveled me out. I wanted to share that because I feel like there might be something there that can be of value. And then I want to kind of wrap it up by just sharing about the website and what the website is all about, sharing, how this creation is emerging, sharing how the bee prayers are unfolding, and sharing how what inspired all of the artwork that's on the website was a curiosity that I wanted to live into for myself. What is the frequency of the bee? Who is the version of Joanna who embodies the spirit of the bee? Who embodies a spirit of devotion, of diligence, of serving a greater purpose and doing so in a way that's in harmony with nature, not just nourishing her community and the generations that come ahead, but also just by my essence. So I'm not even trying. But what's so beautiful about the bee is just by the bee being themselves, they are perpetuating life, right? They're giving life to life. And where this all comes in a really interesting full circle for me is when I got inspired by that book, Think Like a Breadwinner. What inspired me the most was this whole idea of investing and how investing is really the way of nature. We plant a seed and nurture it, And then the seed roots, it rises, it blossoms, and it goes forth and multiplies. And investing is all about taking what's coming into you and allowing it to go forth and multiply. And so even just to bring this whole idea of investing into my consciousness, and at the same time holding this curiosity around where am I still in systems of oppression internally? Where am I still playing out patriarchal programs inside of myself? And how can I take this concept of investing and just align it with the way of nature? What I find so fascinating about all of this is, yes, it's true that we plant a seed, it roots down, it rises up, it goes forth and multiplies. But what's the connecting thread of the multiplicity? It's the bee. It is the bee that allows for the multiplicity to emerge. By the bees just being in their essence, doing their thing, collecting pollen, drinking the nectar, sharing it with their community, and preserving the generations ahead. Just by the bee doing what it naturally does, being in its essence without any conditioning, any performance, any achieving, the bee perpetuates life to life. It goes from flower to flower, which is what allows for, one, the blossoming to emerge, but two, the blossoms to actually allow the plant to fruit and to seed. So the bee is the connecting point of fruiting and seeding. And the bee is said to be responsible for basically 1 out of every 3 bites of food that we have. So I don't claim to have anything figured out in this. These are more just big questions that I've been living into. And I'm sharing with you experiences that have been flowing through me, that I've been shifting my consciousness and allowing my creativity to soar. I'm offering an Artist Way group starting this Sunday. And it's going to be amazing. I'd love to invite you to check out the website to learn more, as well as check out the call to action that I've placed on the website, where you can actually be a part of this living, breathing bee inquiry. And within that, I would be so curious to further explore, what does it mean for you to embody the bee? Not just from a cognitive sense, but what is a way that you, in your own individual essence, are already that? What is that essence in you that's already that? And what is the version of you that is deliberately connecting with that essence of you, not only in thought, but in embodied devotion and action? And one other question that emerges for me with all of this is the whole concept of multiplicity. If the bee is responsible for the multiplicity of nature, then what is the nature? What is the essence that we as individuals want to pollinate, want to give way to a greater multiplicity? We are in this time of such an emergence of consciousness, and I don't know if we realize how powerfully inspiring this can be. If it's true that AI is supporting us to go forth and multiply, what is it that we truly want to multiply and give seed to, which bears fruits for the generations to come? I think that's where the greatest curiosity is for me in all of this. And it would be so interesting to actually begin or just have this question here of AI as a bee, us as bees in a hive with AI. I think that could just be such an inspiring inquiry.